There are likely very few people who get excited about taxes for good reason in most cases. Excitement notwithstanding, we have found some tax topics that may make you scratch your head. Let's go around the table. Ken?
Well, so first of all, West Virginia, there's an additional tax on sparklers. Okay, I guess that gives them an additional income around New Year's and 4th of July. But of course, there's always my favorite, the Maryland flush tax. Only in the great state of Maryland do we get taxed on using the bathroom.
I believe that was, did we get taxed?
I like one of the historical ones. Peter the Great, way back in 1705, the Emperor of Russia, who was trying to turn to the West. The big fad in the West at the time was shaving and not beards. So he decided to tax you on the length of your beard if you were a man, in order to do a little social engineering to make his kind of Eastern Europeans look like Western Europeans. So social engineering through taxation has been going on, but this is a rather curious one. And
That is curious.
Henry?
Well, one, leading to the previous segment, talking about the House of Cards and their corporate welfare, that they held out the state of Maryland for more money to do their production because they claimed the impact on the state of Maryland was $400 million. So that's just a little tidbit. It was I think last time it was about $15 million. And the one I think Donald Trump could get behind if he was going to get behind taxes, maybe mimic something for the Muslim countries. In 1885, Canada created a Chinese head tax, which taxed the entry of Chinese immigrants into Canada. So we might have a way to not only build the wall, but also control terrorism.
Is this like a turnpike thing where you have to, when you cross the border, you have to pay a fee?
They're
how
going
do
to
they
all
collect
have.
it?
They're going to all have debit cards, and we're just going to swipe the card as they go across the border.
I kind of like that idea at some level. I don't know. That could be kind of cool. So, is it my turn?
Jim.
All right. So, in the state of Kansas, believe it or not, untethered hot air balloon rides are exempt from sales tax because it's a mode of transportation. However, if you are tethered, it then becomes an amusement, which is subject to the state sales
You
tax.
did say the state of Kansas?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you get taxed until you take off.
Well, no, if
Somebody cuts the rope during the
if
thing.
at some point you are untethered, then you don't get taxed at all. But if you remain tethered the entire time, you're taxed.
So when the balloon drifts off and you're not in Kansas anymore, you're not going to get taxed.
yeah, that's possible too.
Toto, we're not going to be taxed, though.
That's
Bye,
true
Dorothy.
too.
And blueberries are so popular in Maine, there's a special tax just on blueberries.
All right,
I lived in Maine.
that's
That-
very cool.
That is something else.
Big crop up
So
there.
know-
apparently the blueberry muffins are probably more expensive than like the cranberry orange muffins or other ones.
Sure.
So another one interesting one that I found now that we've gone around the table is that there are cities and states that levy a jock tax. So if you come into the county or if you come into the city or come into the state to be an athlete, to perform as an athlete, then they levy a tax on you. How do you do that?
And that's an actual income tax.
Right.
Yes.
So and it's funny because tax day was actually that's the day you have to file your income taxes, or as I call it, theft day, because if I take money from you against your will, it's considered theft. But if the government comes in and takes money from you against your will, well, it's just taxation. It's not theft. So
But, I mean, we pay into it anyway, so it's
Sure.
regardless of what it is.
It is our
But
money.
it's our money, we're just getting it back, or we're redistributing it for the
The
benefit of
public
voters.
interest.
right.
we
Of course,
Right.
prior to 1913, with the exception of war debts, there was no income tax. Now, interestingly enough, I actually did some historical comparisons. 1934, income tax accounted for about 17 to 18% of federal revenue. All right. This year, it accounts for about 40% of federal revenue. All right. So I think what it is, income tax is kind of like crack. Okay. So they first they tested the waters.
Wow.
now
And,
they love it.
Oh yeah, just wait. You're going to love this. All right. First they tested the waters a little bit. They said, all right, let's see. All right, we'll try just a little bit here. Okay. Oh, yep. Nobody complained about about that little bit of tax. All right, we're going to get a little bit more. We're going to get a little bit more.
Where do we
we're
see
gonna
the
get a
first
little bit more.
value
Well, you
added
know,
Next thing you know,
tax?
they're just addicted. They're just consuming the heck
Do
out
you
of it.
understand that equal to the income tax, 40% of the revenue plus that the U.S. government takes in comes from your Social Security entitlement that we pay. 40%. 70 years ago, corporate taxes amounted to 35% of the total revenues for the federal level. Do you know what they are today?
How much?
5.
Okay.
I was going to guess 15.
Okay, so we're almost out of town,
off.
but I have to bring up one. In 2007, the Texas legislature implemented a tax on strip clubs. You know what they called it? You ready? The poll tax.
Nice.
Seriously.
And
That's serious,
we'll give you the
that's
last
serious.
word on that one. Up next, it's Fast Five. 5 panelists, 5 topics in 6 minutes. Stay here with us on the flip side.